live from LA Comic-Con, it's the nighttime show, the Mandalorian edition. I'm the voice of the nighttime show, Mike Black, and I have spoken. With us, as always, our head writer, Matt Walker, and the very special guest of the LA Comic-Con, star of Breaking Bad, Better Call Saul, Moff Gideon himself, Giancarlo Esposito, and the star of Mulan, Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., Fennec Shand herself, Ming-Na Wen, and now our host, he is the way, Stephen Kramer Glickman!
Yeah, you better believe it. Mike Black, thank you so much. You literally wrote my questions for me to ask on,
Yes, I did.
on the for the panel.
Tell people what happened.
Yeah, here's what happened. So we every year for LA Comic-Con, the nighttime show has this big, giant 30-foot booth. It's amazing. We share it. We have a bunch of celebrity guests and TikTokers and wonderful people come in and they like, for example, like from the movie The Greatest Showman, Sam Humphrey, who played Tom Thumb in the movie, he'll be sitting there at a table with pictures of himself, and people will come over and they'll go, "Hey Sam, it's really nice to meet you," and then he'll say,
"Hello." Hey, what's up? Yeah, I mean, I had a lot of people come and meet me at the booth, and that was cool to be able to talk about the film. Yeah, but a lot of the time they wanted me to, say my famous lines from the movie, which is, "What are you looking at, you flop doodle?" Or, "You're not exactly reaching the top shelf yourself, sweetheart."
like moments like that were happening the whole way through LA Comic-Con. And it was like a ton of fun. We had a great time. And then what the really crazy thing that happened was a friend of mine called me, Regina, and she was like, "Hey, what they're hosting there's going to be a Mandalorian panel. Maybe you should call and find out who's hosting it." And I was like, "Oh my God, I would do anything to fucking know." The Mandalorian's my favorite TV show of all time. Like, I'll call right now. And I wrote them a little message and I was like, "Hey, if you guys need a host, let me know. I'd love to host it." And they wrote back and they were like, "Sorry, Steven, we have someone already." And I was like, "Yeah, of course that you do. No problem. No big deal." And then
That's okay.
I was like, "Oh, okay."
I didn't want to host it anyway.
3 hours later, I get an email back from them, a second email from them that just goes, "He dropped out, you're in." That's all it said.
Oh,
And they were like, "Good timing. You put it out in the world and you got it." And I was like, "Oh my God." I freaked out.
And the last LA Comic-Con, you hosted the Office panel.
Yeah,
like
which was
six
my
Office
other
cast members,
favorite TV show. So I was like,
Love it.
this is like it's so awesome. I was totally excited, but we had so much going on leading up to it, with doing the panel for TikTok with all these giant TikTokers, and then all this other crazy stuff, just building the booth and putting it all together was so much work that I just trying to come up with what questions I would ask these people is, like just getting a clear
And
thought
these are
in my
big
brain.
stars
They're
that have been
huge
asked
stars.
Yeah.
all the normal questions
Yeah,
for years now.
exactly.
I mean, Ming-Na Wen has been asked for years about going to Carnegie Mellon and asking what it was like to pioneer Matt Walker going to Carnegie Mellon.
Oh,
Yeah.
That clearly is
Sure.
what gets asked to her all the time.
I'm sure. So I didn't want to ask
time.
the normal stuff. So I was like, "Mike Black, you are a real Star Wars fan like
Yes.
me, where you know everything and you know all the stuff.
Yeah.
Can you please write up some
It
questions?"
goes Dave Filoni, me,
Yeah.
you.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
You did write amazing questions, and I took them and I fudged with them and messed with them a
But then
little
it
bit.
gave
and
you
did,
time to write jokes.
It gave me time to write jokes. You're
Yeah.
totally right. I wrote a couple. There's a couple funny jokes that I got into the panel, and
They were great, yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
whatever. It was amazing. It was a group effort.
Yeah, and like every question was just like right on point, and it made sense at the moment. Like even the order of the questions made sense. It wasn't just some random assortment of good questions.
Yeah.
like it was thought out and being like, we should ask this, and then based on that, we should then ask about this. And it was like, you
Yeah,
went
I
through
wanted
the whole
them to
thing.
be excited about it.
Yeah.
Like, oh, I'm glad someone finally asked me that.
Well, there were like 12,000 people in the room
Yeah.
when we did that panel, and it was intense, and it was super, super fun. and I had an absolute blast. So here it is. This is it. Take a listen to the Nighttime Show hosts the Mandalorian panel at LA Comic-Con.
After this commercial break, what you were supposed to say. and then
After
you
this
didn't.
after this commercial break. Sorry. Here we go.
We're professionals.
You know, before we continue the show, I just got to say that one of the greatest inventions, I think, in the history of mankind is the pillow. Would you agree with me, guys?
Yeah.
I think there's one better.
Really? What do you think that
The
is?
greatest invention of all time is the human butt.
Really?
Is that an invention?
Well, whoever or whatever created us,
What?
it's just about perfect, the design.
I mean, it really is. It's squishy. It's soft.
Too bad there's not
Firm in
something that
places.
combines the two of them.
Well, now there is.
What?
The buttress pillow.
Whoa.
The buttress pillow is possibly the greatest pillow in the history of mankind. It's incredibly comfortable. It's a functional pillow. You sleep on the pillow with your face in the butt crack. That is 100%. I'm being 100% real right now. They are proudly one of our favorite sponsors here on the Nighttime Show. It's called The Buttress Pillow. Go check it out. TheButtressPillow.com. It's got these perfect breathable thighs. It comes with a yoga pant pillow cover, and it just cradles your head just perfectly, just like a real butt. So go check it out right now. TheButtressPillow.com. That's TheButtressPillow.com. Hey, before we continue doing the show, we got to talk about the equipment that we're using to make the show, make an epic show that is. It sounds like everyone is right here, like we're all sitting together, but we're not.
We've got a fantastic multi-track recorder from Zoom. If you need multi-track recordings, that's the only company you should even be looking at. Basically, we had issues when we had to switch to doing things during a pandemic, and we went from doing a show with people in person to people over the phone, and Zoom just made it a piece of cake.
Yeah, you bet. ZoomCorp.com is the website, and this has made it so that we could interview people in Nigeria,
New Zealand,
Guatemala, Austria, the Czech Republic. When we were
Are
doing
you just
all
naming
those
countries now?
Yeah, well, no. When we were doing all the interviews with the cast of 90 Day Fiancé, we were talking to people, in the Ukraine. We were doing all sorts of crazy stuff. And then just the other day when we had John Rhys Davies on the show
From New Zealand.
he was in New Zealand the whole time.
Sounded
It sounds
like he was
he
here.
was sitting in the room with us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It truly is the mark of excellence for podcasting. Zoom Live Track L8 8-track mixer recorder, the board for creators, podcasting, music, and beyond.
Yeah, it is a badass system, and we're very lucky to be working with Zoom. Go check out ZoomCorp.com. That's ZoomCorp.com. Zoom, you have to say it 3 times. That's what people do in ads, right? Zoom,
What is it, Steven?
ZoomCorp.com. It's ZoomCorp.com. We're talking about ZoomCorp.com. All right, let's get back to the show.
All right, where are my fans of The Mandalorian? Make some noise! Yes, well, guess what? We got Giancarlo Esposito and Ming-Na Wen here to talk to you guys. But first, I'm gonna bring out your moderator for this wonderful panel. He is the host of the Nighttime Show, but you may know him as Gustavo from The Big Rush. Please give it up for Stephen Kramer Glickman.
How we doing? I am so unbelievably excited to be here because I am literally the biggest Star Wars fan ever. Where's our other biggest Star Wars fans ever? Where are ya? Oh, yeah. Well, let's get this thing started. We got to make this thing happen. Ladies and gentlemen, you know him as Moff Gideon. Give it up for Giancarlo Esposito, everyone. Give it up!
Thank you.
And ladies and gentlemen, please welcome absolute royalty, Fennec Shand on The Mandalorian and in the big Star Wars universe. Give it up for Ming-Na Wen, everyone.
Yeah!
How about another giant round of applause for these two incredible people?
Hi, Steve.
I'm so excited. We gotta jump right in because this is amazing. Okay, you both have had amazing careers prior to being on, in the Star Wars universe. How has your career changed since your characters debuted on The Mandalorian?
You wanna take that one first, or?
Well, I
Yeah.
sure, why not?
Okay, because I'm gonna take pictures.
I love it. Pictures worth 1,000 words. There's nothing like being in a world where you are in the world of mythology and fantasy, and a world that's much bigger than you are, that teaches you life lessons through great stories. And so my career has changed quite a bit when I didn't think it could change anymore. I've been on an even kind of keel for a long time. I've always wanted to be wielding a dark saber. I have always wanted to swing a cape around. And so I'm like a kid in the candy store. I really love it, and I'm really happy to be there, and it's done great things for my career, of course.
I swing a cape around constantly at home, but
I
my
can
dog
picture
does not
that,
like
Steve.
it. Yeah?
I picture that.
Yeah,
Yes,
you
right
bet.
now. Well, I've been a huge Star Wars fan since I was a little kid, and it's just been an absolute dream come true for me. And I can't explain my life right now because I feel like I'm having an out-of-body experience, living my fantasy that has become my reality. And you guys are absolutely the most amazing fans, and I'm so happy you love Fennec Shand because I love her too.
Yeah, and we're getting more Fennec Shand very soon in Boba Fett. Come on.
The book of Boba
The book
Fett.
of Boba Fett. That looks incredible. If you were, you're going to be taking over Jabba the Hutt's criminal underworld, what is a character that you would like to see brought back into the fold, into the underground fold? Any?
Oh gosh, I wish I could say, but for me personally,
Yeah,
I
personally.
would want all the OGs to come back, all the original characters.
Can
from
we
Star
get a
Wars to come
Dengar?
back.
Can I be Dengar? I will wrap my head in bandages. I'm ready. I love it.
Or something in a cape.
Yes, anything in a cape. Giancarlo, what about you? Is there a character that you would love to see back in the world?
Well, I have to say that I like the OGs as well. I do believe that all of the earlier characters that were in the films, we have an opportunity to bring some of them back, but I can't say any more than that either.
I mean,
We can't. We'll get in trouble.
I see a Bosk over there. Is that? Oh no, that's just a guy. That is awkward. That is so sorry for that. Moisturizer. You have both been recently inducted into the superfan cosplay group, the 501st Legion. Where's our 501st?
Oh! Yeah, baby.
Yeah! What was it like having them on set? To have super fans on set as a part of the show, when they've been there, what was that like?
It's, I think because we're all such huge Star Wars fans, they brought on their authentic stormtrooper costumes and other costumes, and it's amazing, the details. There was nothing that needed to be changed, and they knew exactly what they needed to do. They knew exactly how to pose. They knew exactly how to hold their weapons, and then they knew exactly how to get shot, because stormtroopers get shot all the time.
It's an amazing experience to have and to hear the stories afterwards on my first day of shooting, going out and being taken to a world that was surrounded by shipping containers so people couldn't send drones in and take photos. And then to have all of these members of the 501 who I didn't know they were 501s. I thought they were just actors, and they did their job incredibly, seamlessly. Absolutely perfectly. And then in speaking to them, I realized that at least a third of them, maybe I'm exaggerating a little bit, but many of them were women.
Yes.
And I went, yeah, baby.
Yes.
And then I come to find out that they were put on a bus, not told where they were going, told they were going to some benefit or something, had no idea they were going to even be in our show, and that really tickled me as well. But what got me the most was that they carried themselves with such great professionalism, and I've since been hanging out with the 501s in Oregon and around the country, and what you do as a 501 is the most amazing gift that you give to society. Going to children's hospitals, going to orphanages, really bringing joy into people's lives. I am a champion of the 501.
Yeah.
Love it.
Well said. Amazing.
That's incredible. Now, I know this is a bit of a tricky question, but I will admit something out loud first. When I was doing Big Time Rush on Nickelodeon, as we wrapped our show, thank you. Oh, thank you so much. Very kind. When we wrapped, I stole basically the whole set. I stole all of my gold records, and I took everything home and filled up my house with it. And then they called and said, "Can we have it back?" And I said, "I don't know what you're talking about." Is there anything that you were able to take from? Do you have any memorabilia, anything that you've taken home from? Not even just from Star Wars, but from your entire career. Is there anything you're a big fan of that you've gotten to keep?
Took me 10 years to get a Los Pollos Hermanos tray. A red tray from Los Pollos Hermanos. I've been signing them for years. Finally this year I go back and they put a red tray in front of me and I said, "I'm going to steal this." And I did, and I'm so proud of myself. Other than that, I only had a paper cup.
Yeah.
From Star Wars, we could get busted big time if we admit to stealing anything. But I was given a wonderful challenge coined by Jon Favreau, at least 10 of them, and a really beautiful one, and I know it meant a lot to him. And so I have since given each one of them away. And I got to the last one, and it was for a young boy. He was 8 years old, and I thought of this boy in my mind after I had my morning meditation, and I thought, this is your last one. And I thought, give it away. Give it away, because it's a big circle. When you give things away and you are in service, they'll come back to you tenfold.
Don't you just love this guy? He's just amazing. I'm more selfish. No.
I love you.
I am such a hoarder. But I will learn from you to be more giving. I give in other ways. But, with Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., I did get...
Yeah.
I got to keep all of her many different outfits. At the very end, make friends with your costumer. And so I have a few of those things. I love the clothes, because for me, the clothes really, really creates the character and helps me to become that character. As far as my Fennec outfit, boy, that's going to take some doing. So we'll see. We'll see if I can get it.
Yeah, with clothes, you put a lot of energy into those clothes.
Yeah.
And you want to be able to hold on to a couple of pieces and stuff
Yes.
like that. Oh,
Yeah.
I get it. I totally get that. Now, okay, the end of this past season of The Mandalorian brought the return of Luke Skywalker. It was an emotional moment for fans and for I'm sure for the cast. What was that like? Can you talk about it at all? I mean, now it's kind of out in the open. People know about what it was like, but can you tell us a little bit of what that felt like?
I mean, we all have very different stories about it, but ultimately it was truly one of those surreal moments where he, is there and he is not at the same time. But for me, the most essential moment was seeing videos of the fans crying, gasping, jaw dropping. It just brought back so many memories for me when I used to go to the theater and watch Star Wars and have those moments. And to have been a part of that is truly the most incredible gift in my life and in my career. So we're bonded. We're all bonded from that one very spectacular moment.
Yeah, it's amazing to be a part of such a huge franchise that enhances your imagination, that brings about and throws back to when you grew up. We, as many of you and some of your children are rediscovering what Star Wars really is and why does this show really work and have such a deep impact on us, because our show, Mandalorian, has returned to the mythological elements that teach you about morality, that teach you about right and wrong, that give you a choice and show you what the right thing to do is. So part of me is a fan, because in my youth, and I saw those early movies, they really were literally, and pardon the pun, out of this world. And they were a great gift to me.
In a galaxy far, far away.
In a galaxy far, far away. And so they give us the opportunity to be fans too. So that moment is overwhelming when you're able to be there and be working with someone that you, and a story that galvanized you when you were young. To be in that mix is like a dream come true.
Yeah. Absolutely. I mean, when I saw that moment in the show, I was feeling good. I was like, God, this is such an amazing ending. What an amazing moment. And then when the reveal happened, and I think we all kind of were hoping that it would happen, and then when the reveal happened, tears shot out of my eyes like an anime character. I am a 42-year-old grown man, and I was just like, bing, 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 bing. I just could not handle it. It was really big, and it was amazing that they were able to like heal so much stuff and put so much together for something that we love so much.
Yeah.
It's just it's amazing.
Like Jon Favreau, Dave Filoni, Peyton, who directed that episode. It's really an incredible collaboration, but they're the nerds themselves that grew up with Star Wars, and their respect and understanding of it really propelled that moment, I think.
Absolutely.
So
now you have both had posters, T-shirts, action figures. What is your favorite bit of merch that has come out that you just that you had to get?
all of it. Again, I'm the hoarder.
What about from other things aside from Star Wars? Any other merch or pieces that have popped out that you're like, I had to get this?
Oh, gosh.
Well, for me, it took me a month and a half, 2 months, maybe even longer than that, to get the package Moff Gideon T-shirt and pop doll in my size.
Nice.
Everybody a medium in the world?
Yeah.
It took me about 3 or 4 months to find that, and I love that. And then, I'm very fond of the Gus Fring pop dolls, 166, 167 of Gus Fring as well, which I think are very hard to find now as well.
Yeah.
I think I may have one of those left. But it's exciting to be able to get things that are relatable, that remind you of such a wonderful experience that you've had on the show.
And what's so crazy is that my son, who just turned 16, he started watching Breaking Bad, and he loves Gus. He actually dressed up as Gus in the apron with the hermanos.
Los Pollos Hermanos, the clip-on tie. And you got to tell him, for me, he looked great.
He did. He was so into it. It's just so awesome. Yeah. Full circle.
A big question that came from some super fans out there was Grogu. being on set with Grogu, we've heard stories of like Werner Herzog reportedly like not being able to like break eye contact with him on set and and like trying to talk to him in between takes. Do you have any stories of working either with Werner Herzog or with Baby Yoda, Grogu?
I hate working with Baby Yoda. He steals every scene. Never work with kids, animals, or Baby Yoda, Grogu.
Yeah, so when Baby Yoda was presented to me by John, we walked by a rolling tray, and we were halfway by it. He said, "You want to meet the baby?" And I went, "Yeah." And he whipped off the canvas cover on the baby, and just then the puppeteer was coming over, and you want to see him move? And I looked at this, and I went, scratched my head, and I looked at John, and I said, "That's the star of the show."
Sure is. And he has such an entourage. He is such a diva.
Totally.
All right, like he's got like 6 people with him all the time.
I love that so much. That's amazing. Anything about Favreau that you can tell us about working with Mr. Jon Favreau?
I think John's a genius. I really
Genius.
do. He's really big hand for Favreau.
Yeah, seriously.
For Dave Filoni. Yeah.
Yeah, Filoni!
So good.
You know, John, is someone who has thought it all out, written it all, producing it, directing, guiding the directors. But then, in my scenes with Baby Yoda, I realized that, there was room. And he allowed me to realize there was room to play. And so I never change any of the words or try to improvise at all. But with that baby, I felt compelled to. And I really, and that's how, you ever seen one of these? You're liable to lose an eye. That's how all that came up. I was messing around. I was joking and having fun. Because I realized, I'm a little tight here because, like you, I was nervous the baby's going to steal the whole scene. so I thought, have fun with this baby. And that would be a misdirect as to whether or not whether Moff Gideon has nefarious ideas for this child. Or is it possible that he would want to extract something from this child that he could use that would be for the betterment of all of humanity? And then I started to really be free and think, don't think in one linear way, think in a way that's circular, that could be inclusive of all of our Star Wars world.
And John, he's such a great storyteller. Like, you could spend hours just listening to him as he's explaining the scene, explaining the moment, and what happened before, what's going to happen next. And as an actor, it really fills a lot of the blanks. But he does allow you to play. Like, I remember that now this iconic moment with Boba Fett, on the throne of the previous dude that no longer exists,
Right.
Jabba. I was standing very, very military stiff and next to Boba when we were doing the montage, and he just came over and he's like, these guys are bounty hunters. Let's see what we can. I just feel like he has such a wonderful instinctual feel for everything, and he's just like, what if we make it a little more relaxed? What if we, and that's when that whole tableau became what it is now, where I'm sitting, where I'm drinking, and it kind of tells the story without needing words. It's an image, and he understands that so well. It's remarkable.
That's absolutely incredible. Before we wrap up, one last question. Is there one hint of absolutely anything that you can say about the future of your characters or of the show? Anything at all? We'll take anything. Right?
Let's see. But the Book of Boba Fett comes out December 29th. Happy New Year, Merry Christmas. On Disney Plus.
Will Rancor wear a Santa cap? Anything?
Lawsuit. Look forward to the season 3 of Mandalorian coming soon.
Social medias. Do you guys have social medias? Will you let people know where they can find you on the internet?
I'm at Ming-Na on Twitter and at Ming-Na_Wen on Instagram, I believe.
God, you're doing better than I am.
Yeah.
Yeah, just look for Giancarlo Esposito 1, Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook. Check it out, baby.
Speaking of which, wait, hold on.
You can always get me at Stephen Glickman on Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, and TikTok. And then our podcast, The Nighttime Show. It's a very colorful booth. It's right over there.
That's a great idea.
Big shout out to Regina Carpinelli for hooking this up. Anovos for the helmet. Guys, thank you all so much. We love you. And we love Star Wars. LA Comic-Con. Hey, Matt, before we continue doing the show, we got to talk about what we're talking into.
These Sennheiser microphones are fantastic.
Yeah, they are literally top of the line. The best company in the world when it comes to microphones, headphones, audio equipment like this. I mean, it's just so damn good.
If you want to sound good talking into something, get yourself some Sennheiser microphones.
Yeah, it makes you sound epic. Mike Black, say something epic.
Space, the final frontier.
Bum, bum, bum.
These are the voyages. If I say any more, lawyers will get involved. We have to.
Exactly.
But I said it clearly, and you could hear it clearly.
God, I can hear it. It sounds perfect. Hey, go check out Sennheiser. If you are looking for audio equipment, you're looking for a great microphone, this is the one to use. Mike, Matt, what's this one called that we're using?
This is the MD42.
Oh, it's perfect.
Yeah.
It's absolutely perfect.
Find them at Sennheiser.com.
You bet. All right, let's get back to the show. Holy God, that was so much fun. Oh, my God. Holy
What
crap.
a great time.
Wow. Wow.
What great questions.
I know. Seriously, but
Fantastic questions.
you nailed it. It was but it was really fun. They were great.
Yeah.
They were so nice.
They were so good at answering them.
I told Ming-Na Wen right before we started, I was like, "Oh, I'm so nervous." And she was like, "Why?" And I was like, "Because I love you." Because I love both of you so
Security.
much.
We need to
Exactly.
try to get them on the show for like in-depth interviews because there's so many things I want to ask both of them. Now, backstage, you did get a photo with Giancarlo Esposito. I saw it. Did you guys talk about both being Gustavo?
Oh, I stuttered as I told him. I was like, "You played Gustavo. I played Gustavo. We both are Gustavo.
We Gustavo'd.
We both were Gustavo. You were on Breaking Bad, Gustavo. I'm Big Time Rush, Gustavo. And it's cool because we're both the same, but we're not the same. But it's,
Gustavo happening. It happened.
yeah, it was very awkward.
He's like, you sold Los Pollos Hermanos chicken. I look like I ate a lot of Los Pollos Hermanos chicken.
Oh, son of a bitch. You're 100% right. But yeah, it was a lot of fun. Anyways, Mike, where can people find you on the social medias?
At Mike Black is back on all social media.
Yeah.
And what about you, Sam? Thanks for sticking around. Sam, what about you? Where can people find you?
Of course, you can find me on Instagram and Facebook or at the Sam Humphrey.
And what about you, Matt Walker? Where can people get you?
Links to everything at funnymatt.com, or if you're upset by me in any way, let me know at mattwalkersucks.com.
You can always get me at Stephen Glickman, STPHEN, Glickman on Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, and on TikTok, it's Stephen K. Glickman. I love Star Wars. That's all. Thank you.